Thanks very much for joining us. We're going to crack straight into questions. I suppose the one you get asked quite a lot, but I'm going to ask it again. Are you disintermediating agencies?
You look at me.
Sorry, I can start at the other end if you want a bit of time.
Okay. So let's put some facts on the table. As a media online and as in specifically, we don't represent more than 4 or 5% of the total media spent from a client. Secondly, agencies have around, if you put all the numbers together, probably around 100,000 people on account management and account servicing. So these two facts together make it already very unlikely that you're going to disintermediate agencies. Agencies have been around for 100 years doing advertising, and they do from strategy to creativity to media planning and buying. So all these are capabilities that we're not going to be able to build. So I don't think we're going to disintermediate agencies. What we want to do, I'm sure we're not going to disintermediate agencies. What we want to do is help agencies increase and build their capabilities on the online space. And some of these capabilities are relevant not only for online, but across media.
Okay, let's take that up, Christoph.
The short answer is no. And obviously, why would we? We are doing most of our business today through agencies. We're very happy with that. We're partnering every day, and there is no reason to change. Unless you have a reason, but I don't.
Brendan.
Well, I think if the last 2 evenings on the dance floor are any indication of partnership with agencies, let's see what the folks here from AOL have for me. Of course not. We need to work. Microphone. Does this work? Is that better? So let me rephrase that. You missed the tagline. If the last 2 evenings over at Gecko are any indication of partnerships with agencies on the dance floor, I'd like to think that AOL has a great relationship with our ad agencies as partners. The last thing you want to do is disintermediate an agency. We need them. We need them to be successful, and they need us as a wonderful partnership. And we've heard a lot about that over the last couple of days in terms of how that interaction can work.
Okay, and online, a lot of online growth has come from search in recent years, but obviously all your different platforms now have great aspirations in the world of display as well. How does the agency commission structure kind of feature in your plans for your developing online display capabilities? And I know, Enrique, obviously Google kind of removed its commission for search. Is something like that likely to happen within the display area?
So I think there's two questions. In search, we actually call it slightly different, and is more a funding to build the capability. So we didn't consider that a commission.
I think people felt it was a commission.
That's okay, but the commission usually means that you define different prices. We don't define prices. The price is defined by auction. So the client that operates better the platform makes it more efficient for him, and therefore has a better pricing. We wanted to help agencies to build their capabilities. And the fact is that they build the capabilities. It's amazing how never before a media got so big so shortly. So we build the capabilities together, we invest, agencies invested, and today the business is relevant with a price that is a market-defined pricing, and agencies and us and the clients have to define what is the right level of compensation along the value chain. And the reality is that the clients recognize that, as a lot of advertisers pay a different level of compensation for agencies on the online space that they used to pay on the offline.
Okay, Christoph, do you share that view?
Well, basically, we've kept agency discounts for search and display, and we see every day that agencies are bringing value to the table and helping their advertisers to manage the campaigns. So, which is work that we don't have to do if it's done by them. So there is no reason why we should move away from that structure.
What was the difference in the driver then for you to keep your agency commissions but Google to remove theirs? What do you think it adds?
Well, it's probably more a question for the agencies than for us. But I think it's helped definitely building our relationship and partnership on search. Again, when you work with direct advertiser, there are things that you as a media have to do that you don't have when there is an agency. So it's kind of natural to share that.
Okay, and Brendan, you're obviously kind of rolling out Platform A, so
Yes.
Presumably it's an important part of your strategy as well.
Sure. So from an agency commission basis, it's an industry norm today, and so we're following suit with what the industry norm is. Very similar to traditional media, as everybody knows.
And do you think that would change in the future? Is that likely? Is there pressures in the market that would mean that the commission rate would change? Is that a foreseeable consequence?
It's a hard one to predict. I think the agencies, like Christophe is saying, will drive that. If there is a less of a need for the commissions to be earned and warranted, in turn, that'll make the change.
Okay. We've heard a lot about collaboration, the need for collaboration. Online, I think, has grown so rapidly as a medium due to a kind of very open approach. You guys all have obviously very separate platforms, which is the approach that you've taken. Can you see yourselves collaborating together in any way to drive that market forward?
Definitely. Our platform, anyone can join the platform, and we are happy to work with anyone. I think downstream we want to work with the agencies to definitely, as I said, get the best cross-platform and cross-media efficiency and effectiveness for them and for their clients. So we are open to work with any platform, and I think with the arrival of exchanges, we're going to see that that's going to be the case. So the arrival of the online exchanges for display is going to enable everyone to buy from every platform, or everyone to sell for every platform if they want to. So that's going to be probably the most fluid market across media.
And how quickly will that implement, and what's the kind of immediate and long-term impact that you think that will have?
I think there's two parts we're mixing today. One part is what is the media. The other part is how I get the best efficiency for the media. So I can buy any kind of media, and my capability to targeting and to be very specific on the activity I want to do with that audience is going to be the differentiator. So the difference we're going to see is, while in the offline world used to say, I put my 30 seconds, if this is good on the right time, that makes the difference. Here we're going to see that actually the targeting within their 30 seconds or within the media is going to be a differentiation. So media and capability to differentiate and targeting is going to be separate.
Okay. And Christophe, do you think that's...
Well, my perspective is that we're already doing it, depending on an ad hoc basis, depending on the request from our clients or from the agencies. So this has to be driven by the market needs, and in some cases, yes, we see that, and we have to join forces or collaborate to bring the right solutions to the advertiser at the end. And that's already happening, and that's part of the answer. The other part of the answer, obviously, is that there is this massive trend around the exchanges, as we just said, and this is going to be, I would say, a platform play where as many players, publishers, agencies, advertisers will be able to join the party and basically benefit from the reach, because that's at the end of the day. The idea is that we are in such a fragmented market that there is that need for common currency, common systems, but open system. And maybe our perspective is that we have to bring solutions to the market that can be embraced by the different players in a very kind of transparent and open mode. It's not about a black box. It's really about being open and bringing solutions to be shared by the market.
Okay, I know you two guys have got exchanges. Do you have an exchange capability?
We're in the process of building an exchange now. It's in the U.S. and it's going to come across Europe this year.
Okay, and what kind of, you're obviously going out to market and telling people about it. How can agencies kind of interact with these exchanges, and where can they add the value to them?
So the agencies provide valuable insight and enabling us to understand more about what their clients are looking for. And what the underlying theme has been ease of use, simplicity. Their jobs are so hard, they're so complex, there's so much fragmentation happening in the marketplace. If we can provide interfaces, I think exchange can be considered almost a fancy term in terms of saying, just give me a tool that enables me to go look what inventory is available. How can I place adverts on there and get measurable results for placing them? I'll pay the fair, equitable price for that. Just make it easy for me. And that's the foundation of AOL and Platform A.
Okay, and you're all building out your platforms. And maybe from the buying side, there is lots of competition, but from your perspective, you cover enormous swathes of the market. Each one of you, your reach is huge. Is there enough competition in the online market from your side, not from the agency side?
Oh, definitely so. If you look at the concentration of the online, the top 5 properties or networks are definitely below 40% of the market, or even 30% of the market. So it's much less concentrated, the sell side or the network side, than on the agency side, where the top networks represent much larger share of the ad spend and the agency space. So that's definitely, there's a lot of competition.
What about the search market then?
Well, there's a lot of competition on the search market because there's no locking in. So the competition is, we don't lock consumers in and we don't lock advertisers in. And that is a major difference what you think about competition. Any consumer and any advertiser can get in and out of our platform. People come to our platform because they feel on an everyday basis that we offer the best service. And we invest dramatically more than anyone else or everyone together on this service. So the competition is driven by, are you locked or is it free entering? And there's no entry barrier except the investment we're doing.
Do you guys agree with that?
Well, I think a lot of the competition and the monopoly, if you will, depends on the markets. So Google has an incredible presence in quite a number of markets. But if you think of some large markets, like in Asia, in China, they've got Baidu. In Japan, we have Yahoo there. And in Russia, a fast-growing emerging market, there's Yandex. And so there are a number of players out there that I think keep us all healthy, keep us all honest. I think competition is a good thing. I think over the last 18 months or so, before the recession everybody's been talking about hit full force, we're getting a little sloppy, almost a little lazy in terms of taking for granted digital's going this way and all other media is going this way, or hovering straight across. Economy hits, marketers get more sophisticated, they begin to think more about, hey, every dollar I spend, I have to understand what happens to it. And if we can deliver on that promise, and if the competitive nature of all of us is such that, hey, I'm going to look to improve and better myself, that's healthy for the marketers, it's healthy for the agencies, it's healthy for consumers.
So do you feel that you three guys represent the most insulated part of the media market during a recession?
You're talking to the
all three all three of you. Do you feel the most insulated with a shift from brand maybe towards performance, a kind of natural move towards what I can prove immediately with a click?
Well, I think we're lucky. We are lucky because we're in a market where everything has to be invented. We have a lot of opportunities, and I would agree with what was said earlier during the conference. I think this is a great recession. This is a great opportunity for us all. We have to look at that with a lot of appetite and to innovate, to change things. And in times where it's tough for everybody, for clients, for medias, it's also a great time to change things maybe we should have changed a long time ago. So it's I think we're lucky because we know that we will grow and that the online advertising is far from having reached its plateau. But on the other hand, there are challenges across the whole value chain, and we have to be very conscious of everything we do and our profitability, productivity, and everything. As in every other industry, maybe we're not as used as others to do that. But I think it's a great time. And to come back to the competition question, I think it would be hard to argue that in some markets we have a quasi monopoly in the search world. But it's also true to say that if somebody comes up with a great idea and reinvent search, Google would be in danger. So I think the only thing we're sure, obviously, is that everything we say during these 2 days is probably going to be crap in 10 years' time when we look at it. So that's also refreshing.
That's very reassuring.